Oh, my loves, I'm so sorry, so sorry, so sorry. I got really shame on me, guys. I got really comfortable with the tribe today, Terry's tribe on Patreon. We had a lot to discuss about this burning dragon. Hunk of burning love. Yeah, this poor Disneyland dragon. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Welcome to Terry TV. How are you? Terry Harden here, pop icon. I've been in Ghostbusters, Men in Black, and I'm a Disney Imagineer. Yes, indeed, I've done a lot. In fact, the other day, my husband and I were talking on the way to a nice family event, and I remembered, how could I forget, that I had voice training from June Foray. I worked with June Foray for about, I'd say the class was 3 months. And Mel Blanc, who my dad worked for a radio station near KTLA 5 called KMPC Radio. And my father brought me in to sit down and practice voices with Mel Blanc. In fact, somewhere I would love to say I still have it is a tape of a ton of Mel Blanc voices that he left for me to imitate, which I thought was so sweet of him to do. But there's nothing like watching your hero as a young kid. Mel Blanc was the ultimate hero for me to meet. I must have been 14 years old when I met him, and we talked back and forth in his voices, me trying to imitate some of the Warner Brothers characters and him doing them excellently, because after all, they were his. And we got on that. I never did get to meet Paul Frees, who I've always loved Paul Frees, mainly because Paul Frees doesn't really do voices, but every time you hear his voice, you know who it is. And it's just like Paul Frees, Paul Frees, Paul Frees. In fact, we talked about there is a movie or a TV show where Paul Frees does about 5 different characters, and you get lost. You cannot close your eyes and distinguish between each character because they're just Paul Frees's voice. They're just too close together. But a lot of fun. So as a pop icon and someone who's just been very, very busy working with a lot of people like Elizabeth Taylor, Michael Jackson, and Dolly Parton, et cetera, et cetera. Also in films like Ghostbusters and Men in Black 1 and 2, I've done a lot. So this is not a channel for me to tell you how much I've done, but to prepare you, because coming up this Friday is Ask Me Anything Friday. I haven't had it on for a while, and this is because I wanted to introduce some new things to you guys, more interesting, exciting, upbeat, energetic things. I've done my best, and if you keep watching, then it's gonna shift a little bit and change a little bit as I work to get momentum. I'm also taking care of my elderly parents, and that is a shot across the bow every day of the week. I never know when I wake up if I'm going to do what I have planned or my parents are going to need something done, usually immediately. Those of you who are taking care of your elderly parents know exactly what I'm talking about. But the idea with this channel, those of you on YouTube and those of you on Facebook, is that I want to keep it kind of this television reporting on certain things and talking about some things and discussing with you anything that you want to talk about. But this Friday, the 28th? Yes, the 28th, we're going to have an Ask Me Anything at the usual time, 9:35, and I will be here. Sorry I was late today. I just got really into the discussion on my Patreon page, and if you're not sure what the heck that is, let me take you over to it and show you. Patreon.com/Terry Harden. For just $5 a month, you can be part of one of the greatest groups, I think, in a long time. I am so grateful to be a part of this group. I may have been the catalyst to start it, but they took the ball and ran with it, and it's become this wonderful community of people who sit and share and talk. And sometimes if you just want to listen, you just listen. But it's a lot of fun, and today we had a lot of fun talking about the dragon, and also people from the tribe who are cast members and have been a part of it pointed out that Mickey was safe, because I got really nervous. I have to be honest with you guys. I got really, really nervous about Mickey. I thought it took too long, but according to several people who are cast members and people who know the safety protocols at Disneyland, they said that he was whisked off and nobody was hurt in that burning dragon. But if you didn't know that the Maleficent Dragon in Fantasmic burst into flames on Saturday night, it did. it burst into flames. And I mean, not the head, not the wings, the whole thing caught fire. It was absolutely, it must have been terrifying for a lot of people. And some of the cast members that are part of the tribe mentioned that people were then, even though there's water between at the Phasmatasmic show, they started to move people back just to protect them. So that was wonderful to hear. So those are the kind of things you can hear on patreon.com. It's $5 a month. You can join for a month, see if it's something you like. If you like it, stay. If you don't. You can ask me questions about it this Friday. You can ask me questions about Ghostbusters or Men in Black or some of the movies I've been in, some of the things I've designed for Disney, some of the sculptures that I've done. Did I actually sculpt using a cherry picker? Answer yes. Using a chainsaw? Answer yes. So there's lots of things. Just Google my name, Terri Hardin. There it is. And get your questions ready for this Friday. I'm here. I'm going to be in the rocking chair, beep, beep, and answering questions for you. Okay. But that's the deal. That's what's happening. That's why. And so let me get started. There was an Autopia car. Okay. So last week, starting around Thursday, I think it was. And if you know better, please post in the comments. I am looking to get in my studio and work. And I had a garage sale this weekend that was successful in that I got to meet some really, it was more like visitation with benefits. So people would come and maybe they'd buy, but they all visited. And if you've ever been at one of my tables at an event, you know I like that. So anyway, there's that. It's, I guess we first of all, we had, or maybe not first of all, but this is the kind of the what I remember. First, I heard about the systems crash at Disneyland so bad that you could not get into Disneyland because the cast members could not verify you were supposed to get into the park. So this brings up the question, and we talked about this with my tribe today. This brings up the question, should you be so smartphone centric? Is it a good idea to be so smartphone centric? Don't know. If you plan your entire itinerary you want people to do at Disneyland or California Adventure needs to be on your smartphone. Is this smart if things crash like they did last week? You should have a backup, in my opinion. And the backup maybe should be a little more concrete than your Wi-Fi system. And I've always said Disney's Wi-Fi doesn't work real well. And that kind of confuses me that you're so phone-centric and then you don't have a good signal. Just a question. Feel free to talk to me in the comments because I'm open to it. Also, we discussed a lot of the maintenance of the rides must not be maintained like they should be because this dragon burst into flames. Now, the dragon, Maleficent Dragon, was built by Garner Holt and his production company. Now, this is not dissing Garner at any way. Garner, I can almost imagine anyone who creates something for a company like Disney has in there that it should be maintained. And a lot of times, and I do not have a special window into Garner Holt, but I have done things for companies that do things for Disney in the past. I'm semi-retired now, so I'm not really chainsaw sculpting for big productions anymore, but I used to. And one of the things for attractions and rides that they said was that, it needs to be maintained. And most of the time they'll say by our company. So pretend I'm Garner Holt. I'm going to say to you, here's the dragon. Here's how it works. Here's what it needs to be maintained by the park. But every so often, let's say every quarter, which is every 3 months, you're going to need someone from my team just to come in and make sure everything's working great. Now, unfortunately, if you happen to be someone who owns an air conditioning system, like a central air system, sometimes we neglect having them come out when they say to look at the system, and the system can suffer for it. So I'm just saying, I don't know, but Disney might have just missed a couple of those Garner Holt maintenance days because boom. And that doesn't just happen. A lot of times something somewhere is amiss when that happens. And I'm just really glad it was on an island. And like I said, Mickey got saved because apparently he looked, he nodded, and that let the team know that he was ready to be taken down to safety. So he was safe, and that's good because the last thing we want to see is Mickey Mouse get hurt. So we hated that the Maleficent Dragon got hurt. And when you watch these videos, if you haven't seen them, there's one where the woman says, "This is not supposed to happen." She keeps saying, not this is not right. This is not supposed to happen." And she's very calm about it. I found that a bit amusing. There was also a crash with the Utopia cars. I have to tell you, the Utopia cars are one of my favorite things to ride when I'm at Disneyland. I have never seen one jump the track and crash into the side. I mean, there are times I think people try and make that happen. Not that this woman did, but to see her crashed on the side in shock. So she was not planning on crashing by any means. She had no desire to be the way she was. She was very surprised, and so was I. I didn't know these cars had that capability of jumping the track, and there she is. Track jumped, traffic jam. The security and the Disney maintenance team were on it right away to take care of her. But the point is, I do not remember that ever happening when the track was in place. If you do, please let me know because I was like, whoa, that's wild. So that happened. So system goes down. People can't get in. Main Street goes dark at some point and a sign blows. Okay. I guess. And then we've got the burning dragon and a Utopia car crashing, and I'm sure there's more. Walt Disney World had a few things happen too. So with the tribe today, they mentioned that there was a couple of times that the Dumbo ride was dangerous and the Skyway. Those of you who remember the Skyway that used to go through the Matterhorn from the little ski lodge, which is still there, but it's more like a store backing now right there at Big Thunder Mountain. It used to be the Skyway, which you went across and then you went to Tomorrowland and got off, or you could go on Tomorrowland and go across the Skyway that way. And they finally took it down. I don't know if they thought it was unsafe or too much going on in the buckets. I don't know. But the point is that there was a couple of incidences that she said happened in the late 90s that were dangerous. So I guess it does happen that maintenance is an issue, but it appears now to be more of an issue. Another newspaper said that they thought that the Jungle Cruise was past its prime and needed maintaining. So I haven't been on it. I usually try to go on every time I'm there. But this last time, I ended up not doing that. I ended up, hanging out with my friends and most of the tribe. The tribe came and we just we went to a lovely lunch and celebrated one of the tribe's birthdays. So I really like the people. And it's just, that's the thing, is the people that are there are really special. It's really fun. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think? We talked about this today in the tribe, and it was very scary just to see all of this stuff. So what do you think? Do you think Disneyland's worse? I mean, as I mentioned in the tribe, there are pictures of Walt picking up trash himself. So is it more trashy? What say you? And then they banned fire effects all over the world in every single park that they had. They said no more fire effects till further notice. So is that saying that the maintenance on these is across the board not being done? That's the question for the day that I ask you. Yes, that I ask you today. And remember, Ask Me Anything Friday, this Friday at 9:35. I will be on time. We just got really in the heated discussion. I looked up the time and went, oh my gosh, I'm late. So I'm sorry that I was late today. But it's sure great to see you all. Really, I really mean that, just crazy time, right? And those of you who live in California, it was way hot. Oh. I'm not a heat person, so I was like, where's my cold? So today they gave me cold weather. It's supposed to only be in the low 60s, so that's my weather. I'm like, yay, I should be by the beach. Really, I should. Nate says, hi, friend, on the phone, but wanted to say hey. And I love you. I love you too, Nate. And lots happening, Nate. We're going to have a little chat. I am looking to start your piece also, but I've got antiques here. And I guess well, you guys can tell me the other thing that you might want to tell me, or save it for Ask Me Anything, and we can have the discussion then if you'd like. Or you can join the tribe, and we have a Zoom call every Wednesday or sometimes Monday nights, but we always have a live Zoom call where we actually have a conversation and all kinds of cool stuff over there. So if you want to join, patreon.com/Terri Hardin, $5 a month is all it takes. And you can opt out at any time. Yeah. So, but to get back on that, when you turn 65, last year I turned 65, I'm about to turn 66, which would be Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. So I'm about to be 66, and I'm looking forward to that. But I'm finding that I'm in a purging mood, a mood where I'm starting to look around the house and saying, what can I eliminate from the house? What can I sell? What can I share? What can I donate? So the garage sale was lovely, and then I donated, and then I'm going up the hill. I'm a part of Children's Hospital of Orange County, and I'm going to go up there. They're going to have a garage sale, not this weekend, but they're collecting things for the garage sale to benefit our team for Children's Hospital of Orange County. The walk is actually August 20th. And I am looking to fundraise for it. Also, I'm looking to be a part of it. And if you want to be on the team, I invite you to be on the team. You can reach out and ask me what that's about. Or you can wait till Ask Me Anything Friday, which is this Friday, the 28th at 9:35. What else can I say? Anyway, I'm looking around and saying I want to get some things gone. So you can write a will. Everybody knows what a will is, but I have found that I'd like to give the stuff to the people that I want to give it to as early as possible, if I can part with it. That's a big if. The hardest thing is my books. I love books. And it seems like every time I turn around, I see another book that I really love. And if you saw my broadcast, I think it was Friday, this set of books right here, if you haven't seen it, Waltz People by DDA I knew nothing about it, but I spend time under a hot light when possible, or taking care of my parents. So I did not know about this book series. They are wonderful. They are fabulous. This is an older one. I grabbed a couple, wanted to show you the heavier. No, this is actually the new version. Okay, so the old version, let me see if I've got an old. Yeah, the old version looks like this. You see it's a little softer, same thing, but this one's bolder. And then if you see the spine, see how quiet the spine is? Waltz people. And this one's like, Waltz people. DJ is an editor, and he edits from Imagineers and creators from the Disney company alike. And he's been doing it since when? 2002, I think I was told. But a lot of the people in book 1, book 2, or some of the book are gone. They've passed on. They've crossed over. So you can hear interviews and read about people that you love. Many I worked with as an Imagineer, but many I learned about as an Imagineer, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful. They are fantastic. And what the shocker was is this person has 26, 27 copies. He's working on number 28, or he's working on number 27, and I'm going to be in 28. He asked if I could be on number 20 in 28 or 29, whatever volume he's in. There's a long way from one. So if you get the chance, look around. I tried to Kindle as many as I could, but some of them are the regular books. So I Kindled as many as I could because it's no pictures, just wonderful print. I'll also tell you the other thing I like about the print is it doesn't look, I could be wrong, but the print looks to be a 14 instead of a 12, which is the standard. So really easy to read, very comfortable in the hands. And I know I've been talking a lot about this man's books, but I'm just blown away by these. So that's why, that's the problem is, you put these together and you can see behind me how many books I have behind me. That's my small bookshelf, but you can see if you've got 26 volumes of these in book form, they're going to take a shelf. So yeah. I've got as many as I can on my iPad reading device, and then the rest are in book form because I wanted each and every one. And I'm still missing a couple of volumes. But the nice thing about, at least it appears to me, that they don't have to be read in order. They just, so I'll just wait and uh, Google and Google and Google until I can acquire the 2 or 3 or 4 volumes that I think we got 4 volumes left that I need, and I'll keep looking until I find them. So, but I really love them. They are so well written, and they're interviewed by tons of people, and it's quite exciting. So I was very excited to learn about this book set. And the surprise to me, guys, is that this book set is not known by a lot of you. I mean, some of you know about them, and even if you know about these books, these Waltz People books, you had no idea, unless you're Stephanie Fix, part of the tribe, that there were 20 plus volumes, 26, 27 volumes. Many knew about the series, but didn't realize that there were 26, 27 volumes. Look at that, number 26 and 26. There it is, 26. That is something. You know, a book takes work. And this is amazing that I mean, this, I can't wait to meet this fella. I'm really looking forward to it. Apparently, he's going to join me on the interview. I'm hoping, because I'd really love to meet him. I'm just really excited about that's an undertaking. I mean, I have a book this thin. I wrote one, and then I helped with my friends, and I have 2 other books I want to write. And look how long it's taken me. So that's quite an accomplishment since '02. It's amazing, just amazing. I'm impressed. Anyway, books are hard for me to part with, but as you see behind me, there are some things that are very special to me. And if you can earmark them early, if you can part with them, can't part with that. That's from my mentor who died during the pandemic. So I'm a little about that. But there are things that I can part with. And so I'm walking through. One of them is a multitude of antiques, and many of them are fragile, like glass fragile. So I am looking to resell them so that they can be with somebody who might not live in earthquake country. But there's a man who says he'll come and he'll look at them. So my husband is going to help me take pictures of some of those. And this feeling of and let me know if you have it too. If you're in your 60s or your 50s and all of a sudden you're overcome with this purging feeling, or you're not, feel free to share that with me, okay? Because I'll tell you, it's there. But anyway, Nate, hello. Good to see you on the phone. You worked with June Foray. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Knew June Foray for years. So in the 80s, when I met the amazing Bruce Lanoil, among other amazing people, you may have heard of a little group called Sid and Marty Krofft Productions. They did Sigmund the Sea Monster and H.R. Puffin stuff like that. They had a call for puppeteers. I must have been, I was young. I was a kid. And I heard about this call, and they were up the street from my house. So I walked over to audition. That's where I met the amazing and wonderful Tony Urbano. And Tony Urbano was brilliant with marionettes, the string puppets. The man he's very good. He's still very good. But also does amazing hand puppets. And for the longest time, Tony Urbano was the Snuggles Bear, the original Snuggles Bear. Now I'm not sure if he's back puppeteering Snuggles Bear or if it's somebody else, but the Snuggles Bear was not, it was a puppet, then it wasn't. Now it's back, I think, and I'm not quite sure how it works. But he was the original Snuggles Bear, and many other characters that you'll know. We also did the Chicken McNuggets. We had puppet Chicken McNuggets that danced and reacted for McDonald's. I built those and puppeteered those. And it all came from this Sid and Marty Krofft puppet school that happened in the 80s, like 1980, I think. And they brought in people, huge people, to work with us. First of all, you had to audition. Then you had to qualify. Once you qualified, you got to go to the school. The school, out of hundreds of people who auditioned, only picked 30 people. Out of those 30 people, there were 3, count them, 3 women. The rest were men. So, 27 men, 3 women. And we got to work with Harvey Limbeck, Harvey Lindbeck. Yes, Google it. Yeah. Brilliant comedian, one of the top comedians, very hard to get into his training. And he came and trained us for comedic timing. There, June Foray, who did several classes with us in voiceovers and stuff. And then, as luck would have it, as my career blossomed, June Foray and I crossed paths on many occasions, just so many, I can't even tell you. And we would always crack up. She remembered me, well, once my hair was like this, she remembered me with this way, but she remembered me because one of my favorite voice she ever did was Taki Tina from Twilight Zone. So, and she didn't really get that a lot. She got, she did so many beautiful voices for Disney, and of course, Boris and Natasha, Rocky the Squirrel, very famous for that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She even does a voice in, is it Twilight Zone or Outer Limits? I think it's Twilight Zone, where there's two children. One of the girls is Scout from To Kill a Mockingbird. And for some reason, it must have been noisy or something. Her original voice could not be used. So June does the voice. And it's about two little kids who jump into a pool to go, that go through the pool. There's like a portal, and they go back into, turn of the century fishing area where the kids have the hook fin hats and the fishing poles and the dog and the bare feet and the short shorts. And the kids go back and forth because they learn to bake bread, and they, because their parents are divorcing and everything. Anyway, June Foray does the voice of Scout in that, and it pops right out at you. But my favorite was Taki Tina from Twilight Zone. My name is Taki Tina, and I'm going to kill you. My favorite voice that she ever did. And anytime I saw her, I said, would you please? And, it's probably annoying when I don't know if you guys are major voiceover people, you may find that that's really annoying to ask people, that when a person asks you voice, but June always loved it. She seemed to be just fine. And she'd say, I know, Terry, here you go. My name is Doug. And I just went crazy for it every single time. And a lot of times we did appearances for Disney. We were at a gala, some sort of event that was at the Mermaid Grotto before it was the Lamplight Inn. And we were there backstage, and then we were going to sit in various seats to visit with people. And she and I sat opposite each other and just blah, 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 blah. So it was a lot of fun with June Foray. But also, Sherry Lewis was a big one. My mentor worked with Sherry Lewis, and Sherry Lewis asked me to come and audition to help her with a show. I worked on one show with her, I think. But most of the shows were in Canada, and since I wasn't Canadian, a lot of times I couldn't go. They could only allow one person from America. But a lot of puppeteers that I love, Genie of Genieland, Tony Urbano I mentioned, Waylon Flowers and Madam, just a ton, yeah. So all of a sudden, this Terri Hardin pop icon is going, wow, I've led quite a fun life. I should write a book. And there you go. But anyway, there you go. But back to what I was originally going to talk to you guys about, this Disney thing and the maintenance. What do you think? Do you think Disney World is falling apart? Is it prices going up, but maintenance is down? How do you feel, you aficionados? And those of you who aren't aficionados, are you shocked? Are you surprised to hear the dragon caught fire? Are you surprised to think it would go that far? Let me know what you think as I read your comments. And welcome to Terri TV. Hello, Diane Sebo is watching. And Diane, your name is here. It's right there, Diane. It's right there. So I knew it was you. My great-grandmother was actually Mel Blanc's driver in the military. Mel Blanc was amazing. From Si, Sai, So. I don't know if you guys even remember that from the Jack Benny show. You probably could see it on YouTube. But Jack Benny was one of my favorite shows too. And then Eddie Carroll used to do an amazing live show with as Jack Benny, and endorsed by the Jack Benny family. And it was just phenomenal. And his wife, Carol, which I used to love to say, Carol, aisle two, Carol, aisle two. Was fantastic. And but Jack Benny had Mel Blanc on the show, And I forget the character that he played, but I think his name was Cy. So Jack Benny would say, "Your name is Cy," and he'd say, "See," and he said, "Yes, see." Your name was Cy. Your name is Cy. See. Do you have a sister? Sue. And he was adorable. He was absolutely adorable on the show live. Just him in front doing this character. It was just great. So maybe you Google it on YouTube. See Sai Su is what I called that one. I don't even know if that's the name of it, but it was one of my favorite shows with Mel Blanc. And I talked to him a little bit about it. And then, of course, every Warner Brothers character, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, Coyote. Oh man, just a Rolodex, just a phone book full of voices was this man. And actually, he did different voices. There are people who do different accents, and then there are people who do different voices. Different voices means you wouldn't recognize that he does the voice. That's Mel Blanc. Different accents would be Paul Frees. You always could recognize a Paul Frees voice no matter how he camouflaged it because he had one voice, but lots of accents. So both worked, obviously, because they got tons of work. But both are something. You have a killer voice. When I do voiceovers today, I think one of the things I'm most hired for is my low and sexy voice. See the world, must see San Diego. That kind of thing. They like that low and sultry melodic voice, which is funny because I had been doing character voices for my puppets for so long, and then all of a sudden, people want that low and salty voice. Similac for your child. Yes, that's what they liked. A little less breath, a little more breath. I did a show called Renegade where I played a parrot. Ow, ow. And that's showing now because they dug that guy up. My residuals used to be something like 35 cents, and now they're up to $15. Woo-hoo! At least it's worth mailing. But there you go. There you go. Anyway, back to Disney or back to whatever you want to talk about, right? And thank you for sharing that, Crumpet Pumpet Tooth. June, how are you? Oscar and I watched you this morning. Hello, you guys. Are you guys maybe coming to the Disneyland Fan Club event? What's that? Some of you say. This is Oscar Martinez and June. You may remember the amazing Oscar Martinez if you went to Disneyland and ate at what I feel is one of the best restaurants on Main Street, if not the best. And Oscar was the icon there and still is the icon there as he comes and visits often. Everybody loves him. He's a joy to meet and greet and see. He does a lot of meet and greets there, I think, right, June? Still does those. But he's a pleasure always to see, a lovely man. And the Disneyana Fan Club, I made me think of him because he last October was one of the featured guests and made a Disney Legend. I was last May 2022 Disney Legend. And then Oscar was Disney Legend 2022 October. I was May. And along with Carlos. Anyway, the cool thing is there's more this May, coming this May. You've got Willie Ito. You've got Mindy. Mindy's coming. Willie Ito's coming. Connie Lane is coming. She was an ambassador to Walt. Can tell you actual I sat in front of Walt stories because Walt was with me 90% of the time stories. Not a lot of people like that around, and it's really nice to hear stories straight from people who knew him. So that's a really nice feature. You got Matt McKim coming, Imagineer. I worked with him quite a bit. His father, Sam McKim, also an icon. So he can tell you the generations he was part of Disney. So that's a lot of fun. That's Saturday, where you have this countdown to the dinner where Mindy Johnson and Willie Ito will be featured as Disney. They're giving them Disney Legend Award and more. So Disneyana Fan Club .org or look them up on Facebook, Disneyana Fan Club. That happens next weekend. And they have an expo. Listen to this, next Sunday. That's free. What? Free. Absolutely free to you. So it's in Orange County area. And it's really really cool. So please take a look at it and please come and say hi to me. come say, hi, Terry, I heard about it on your channel, or I looked it up, or I just wanted to say hi. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's really a cool show. You guys are really, really going to enjoy it. The lineup is really exciting, and it's just chock full of people. If you are a Disney collector and you want to collect, or maybe you have things you would like to sell and you're not quite sure where to sell them, this club is the place to come and get those answers. Okay. Disney collectors selling to Disney collectors. So you can learn about some of your stuff. You can learn about getting a table. You can learn about having just plain round the clock fun on that Sunday as you talk to tons of people and buy that special something and learn about maybe that's something that you have, or buy that special something that another collector has had. It just can be, it's magical. Yeah, I guess that's what you would call it. Wouldn't you guys? Magical, magical, magical. Yeah, baby. Magical. Yep. Angie says, hello, Terry and friends. Hope everyone is having a great start of the week. Well, as we've said, Angie, Disney's dragon burst into flames. And man, when I first heard, I thought maybe it was the head, but it was the entire dragon. And this was very, very, very frightening to see this. You can Google it because everybody, people are using their phones filming Fantasmic normally. So to have it burst in the flames, it wasn't like, oh, let me get my phone. The phone was probably already up for so many people. And my goodness, the ones where they stay on it and it goes all the way down to the base was very scary. But as I said, if you were worried about Mickey Mouse, no worries. According to many cast members, he was their first and foremost thought, and they got him away almost very quickly. It looked slow to me, but everybody tells me no, it was quite quick. So that's good. I was really wanting that to be the case. Linda says, hi, Linda. Bob Burdine says, to answer your previous question, Matt McKim starts at 1. Okay, so folks, here on Terry TV, I thought you'd like to see a list of times for Saturday, May, is it 6th? Let me look. Bob doesn't have to do everything. Saturday, May 6th is the Disneyland Fan Club event. And it's, I guess, 1 o'clock is Matt McKim, I mentioned to you. Connie's at 2. Willie Ito and Mindy present at 3. Meet and greet will be before and after the presentations. And they need to be ready 15 minutes before their presentation to speak for half an hour to 45 minutes. So then it looks like, Bob, there's a gap after 4. Is that what I'm seeing? So you've got 1 to 3. We've got our, no, let's see. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 o'clock meet and greet. Let's see. Matt McKim 1, Connie 2, Willie 3. So after 4, are we looking at a break because they're preparing for the Legends dinner? Is that what's happening? Please confirm. So watching this channel, I'm going to get you the details, right? We're just going to get the details. And one of the things you can do is to take a picture of the comment with your phone, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to pull my phone out and take a picture of that comment right now. I could go later and look at it, but it's here. So why not just grab it now? But honestly, guys, this I wanted you to have because it was 2 weeks from Saturday, last Saturday. So if you want to get a hotel room or you just want to pop in or whatever, you want to learn more about it, please go check it out. It's going to be fantastic. Janny, well, there's my girl. Part of the tribe, Janny G. If you haven't seen her artwork, check it out. Janny has an art show coming up if you live in Canada. I know Canada's a big place. So if you're in was it Winnipeg, you may not get to see Janny's show, but she's near and around Edmonton. So, but she's got a first show featuring her happening in May. So we wish her all the best and lots of love. And I'm so excited for you, Jenny. I can't even breathe. And she always says it was partially my fault. Well, that's good. Wow. Sounds like the world is falling apart. I don't know about the world, but Disneyland, yo. I mean, there are some things happening in the world that are very, very scary. I think people are wound just a bit too tight. Okay. If you are shooting a cheerleader who's turning in your driveway, I can't even imagine it. If you are shooting someone who knocks at the wrong door, yikes. Really scary stuff. So we need more fun stuff in our life. Is that Disneyland? Is that Knott's Berry Farm? Is that Universal? Is that going to the beach, a nature walk? The Super Bloom is out there, guys. It really fits. Stop and smell the roses. Yesterday, we went on a luncheon with my son and his girlfriend, and her mother was in town from the east, and it was lovely to meet her. But then we walked in the breeze of the beach, and Venice Beach has this area, which I did not see the last time I was there, where roller skaters do kind of a line um thing. So the music goes bump 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 bump, and the skaters all do their thing together, spin and do their thing on this nice little skating section in Venice. We've got a skateboard section. You can watch these skateboarders. That was a little bit too scary for me. I'd like to think that the skateboarders stuck to something they could show you when there's a big crowd instead of trying something new and getting injured. I just really didn't want them to practice something new and fall headfirst into the cement and slide down the pool-shaped structure. So I was grateful that they were probably doing things they really knew they could do, but they were really impressive. And then you have the people along Venice that are doing their various things, impressions or breakdancing being spinning on your back and jumping up and flipping. And, they said they had 500,000 views on YouTube or something. And so all of it is very, very eclectic and fun. It's an interesting place to be, but we had lunch there and it was lovely. And but it's not necessarily the most fun to drive anymore because people don't seem to know to use their turn signals, or they race and dart in and out from your cars, and you're just like, not cool. So, it's kind of scary, but you can go by the ocean and get this really nice ocean view and whatever. When we came back, I said to my husband, I want to get a glass of iced tea and sit on my porch and just relax as my dog runs back and forth and yells at nothing. She loves being outside. And so we just took some minutes to just kind of, what I say, defrag. So guys, if that's a jacuzzi in your back, or you have a swimming pool you can swim in, or you could take a walk, or you can go see the Super Bloom, or you can go to the beach. The beach was very, very crowded, however, because it's the first warm weekend, really warm weekend, and it's going to repeat itself next weekend. So the weekends are very, very busy at the beach. So go early, and you can enjoy it a little less. Most people come out, after 10, I would say. But just if you find yourself being wound really tight, and I'm speaking on behalf of yours truly, you need to find something that just kind of makes you go, take a minute. Yeah. Chill, baby, chill. Iced tea on the veranda, which we don't have a veranda. We have a porch. Iced tea on the porch, looking out at the street. But still, it was lovely. It was really lovely. There was a cool breeze on a warm day. It was okay. The day before, during the garage sale, sweltering hot, just awful. But the next day we had a breeze and it was lovely. So try not to be wound too tight, because this is scary, some of the stuff that's happening in our community. And I want you guys to be safe and feel good about who you are. It's the modern Disney version of plussing. Is that plussing? Folks pay more so they can get benefits like unexpected fires. I don't think they were wishing for that, Joe. I think they watched it to watch it. Oh, Leslie! Not good having everything on the phone. Right from the beginning, I got a hard copy, which I use for admission and discounts. This was after not having Wi-Fi in World of Disney and many places at Disneyland. I'm telling you, their Wi-Fi is terrible, isn't it, Leslie? I don't know why they're so phone-centric and not building towers. In 2020, they had people, driving through Disneyland, taking care of Disneyland, because although it was closed, you have to protect Disneyland, don't you? So this would have been a perfect time to build a few towers. If you're going to be phone-centric, you got to build some towers. So this is kind of what I'm feeling. But wow, she's right. Had to go outside to get a signal, go back inside, wait in line again, finally get my discount for a purchase. I immediately went to one of the booths in the Emplanade. Fortunately, the cast member agreed with me with my frustration and did not charge me to print my pass, which is actually, and she goes on. She's right. I was told, see, I talked to the tribe because we have people from all walks of life in Terry's tribe, but we have a lot of Disney people, and I didn't know how to get a reservation. I was like, they walked me through it because I was completely confused. I mean, my goodness, why it's such a small space, it's tiny. And also they told me to take a photo of my pass so that my pass could be scanned without having to call it up on the internet. So that's what I did. I screenshot it. And I can use that if for whatever reason Wi-Fi doesn't work. But what Leslie is saying here, which is very true, there's more to it, I think. And tell me if you think differently. What if you have a different kind of phone? What if you'd like your kids not to become phone, you see them on the phone at home, you see them at the phone when you're away. So you'd rather them not see Disney through the phone. Disneyland through the phone or Disney World through the phone. You'd like them to see it with their eyes. I heard of someone that they all put the phones in the car and then had a challenge because there was no way to communicate necessarily in certain situations for certain things. Maybe you guys tell me if Disney has a brick and mortar way of you making a reservation, of you getting the restaurants that you want, or is it harder because you don't have a smartphone? I mean, this is really the center of it. I've noticed. Maybe you've noticed something different, and I'm curious to see what you say about it. Yeah, I'm very curious. It helps me. I have never heard of the series Walt's People. Now I'll look for them. Oh, Diane, they're amazing. And I didn't hear about them until I went to Evan's birthday party. Evan Harner, who's part of the tribe, he had a birthday party, and Stephanie Fix, part of the tribe, was reading volume. I think this was the volume she was reading, volume 26. And I sort of took it from her, and then I didn't want to give it back. Of course I gave it back, but I just opened it up and started reading and said, oh my God, I love this. I just, this one here is Marvin Davis and Marjorie Davis. And it says here, just if I read it, Marvin, I am sure you've heard this from other people, but when Roy did get mad, he could swear like a trooper. You wouldn't believe that this would come out of his mouth. Marjorie said he wasn't in the Navy for nothing. So it's super, super cool. It's just great. It's just great. You can pull it up. What else do you remember about the Lillian days, Margie? With Roy in mind, Margie says, as I say, for the most part, we were closer to Walt and Lily than to Uncle Roy and Aunt Edna. It wasn't a close relationship like a family relationship as much as we were just good friends. Aunt Edna and her mother, of course, that was different. That was close. But with Roy at the time, he was very, very, very busy. Lots and lots and lots of responsibilities, lots of concerns. I wasn't as close as I was with Uncle Walt. Roy was very kind and sweet. He was very good. Guys, it's just straight from, these are wonderful, Diane. Please Google them, and so you can get the best price, because they are used in a lot of places. And then look for them when you're out in book sales. They could be on a shelf somewhere a person doesn't realize, or to them that they weren't as important as it might be to some of you out there. But to me, they're just gold. And I can't stop talking about them. If you're David Skipper, I can't stop talking about them. He's the one who told me about them, and then Stephanie, who I couldn't let go of the book. But many you can get on Kindle, but not all. So look for, if you're okay with a Kindle device, because they're just words. I'm not good with art on a Kindle device, so I can't do an art book on a Kindle device, but I can do text. So if you are okay with a textbook, there, it's a great place for those books. Michael says Sigmund the Sea Monster was one of my favorite as a kid. Yeah, we did a thing with Sid and Marty Krofft called The Wickedest Witch with Rue McClanahan and the other one from Golden Girls. And I sculpted some little characters out of foam, and then I made some puppets for that show and then performed with them. And the studio where we built all the characters for this show, that was a Sid and Marty Krofft production, we had Sigmund the Sea Monster around us, and all of the characters were above, sort of giving us their good wishes from above. It was really cool. It was really, really cool. Really, really special. Leslie says, by the way, hi, Terry. DDA Getz is a great friend. I highly suggest that everyone look into all of DDA's writings. Yes, he's got more. I'm just going with this for now. He is thorough, accurate, includes everything that he can, passionate about his work and preserving history. Look for his publications through Hyperion Historical Alliance, along with the publications through other publications through Historical Alliance. So there's another one there, guys. You could Google that and see how they are there. But honestly, his first book, which is on my iPad, and his second book is in my bedroom, because that's the one I'm reading now. And I don't think I have book 3 here. I have book the earliest I have here is 9, volume 9. Volume 9 has, let's see when it was written, just so you know. But the man is just, I mean, if I could just get my act together. And here he writes a dedication in volume 9 in memory of David Mumford, 1956 to 2003, and Bruce Gordon, Imagineers Extraordinaire, Friendly Girls, Disney Park History. I knew them both, really close to both of these men. And so I look forward to reading this one. But this one says it was printed in 2010. So this is 2010, volume 9. So you can imagine, go back. I think it was 2002 he started this series. But he, as Leslie is saying, he's got lots of series. He's got tons of series, just tons of series. And Leslie, if you're back in town or you're going to be at the Disneyland fan club event, let me know and I'll bring you your package from John and Sally. And you're like, what? I mean, I'd use it to talk to you all on different things. You on Star Wars. Hi, Michael Morris. Yes, me on Star Wars. Yes, I'm actually working on a book about my crazy antics on Star Wars. I'm known as the Star Wars Queen. Got the first ticket to Empire Strikes Back, the very first ticket, after standing in line for 3 days. Oh, don't think I'm crazy. There was no internet at that time. So that's the only way you could get the first ticket, was to stand in line for days. And the battle that I fought. Again, this Friday, Ask Me Anything Friday. If you want to ask about things like Star Wars, that's the time to do it. This Friday, 9:35, Ask Me Anything Friday has returned, so gear up, write your questions down, put them in your phone, whatever you want to do, and be ready to ask me, because that is happening Friday, the 28th. Yep, it's happening. I don't think they are falling apart. I just think more people record everything all the time, and every little issue gets put out in the new feeds. Angie, I hope you're right. But like I said, the thing that really shocked me was the dragon was fully engulfed in flames. That was really unbelievable. And the Topia car that crashed. I'm not surprised that the system for Disney crashed, because they're phone centric. The Wi-Fi doesn't work very well. And we tend to rely on this, which is our Wi-Fi social media, wonderful thing, as being something that always works. And yet there are times that I'm challenged. In fact, earlier this morning, I was challenged, and we got on in time. for the tribe. But sometimes it doesn't come, sometimes there's a glitch. I mean, this is so amazing. In 1977, when I went to see the Queen's Silver Jubilee in the UK, and I backpacked across Europe for my first experience as a young person at age 18, 19, to call my father from Austria, which at the time was an Iron Curtain country. If you don't understand Iron Curtain country, Google it. But it was an Iron Curtain country, so my dad wanted me to call him every week because it was me and two of my male friends backpacking through Europe on our own, staying in youth hostels all over Europe. And my dad wanted me to call him once a week because it was my first excursion away from them. And I was young, and they were just nervous. So that call was $1,000 a minute to call my father from Austria. Now you can Zoom, and someone from Austria can just pop in. This is wonderful. This is a really special thing that I try not to take for granted. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Disney should have put all their eggs in that smartphone basket, because there are so many people that don't necessarily have smartphones or would like you to not look at Disneyland like this. Just such a great, Now, I'm an older dog. I'm about to be 66. And so as far away as I can get from this phone, the better. Just put it away. I love to talk to you face to face. And if you guys have channels of your own and stuff, and you probably have a lot more viewers than I do, and but I have the good ones. Not that you have the bad ones, but mine are really amazing. I'm very proud of all y'all that watch this channel, and tickled that you take the time. But the point is that I like to talk like this. Now I am in my room talking to a little light right there, but it can be very weird. I would much rather sit at a table, a garage sale, see you face to face and talk, because that's the way I was raised. You can read a person's body language when they say something. You don't have to read anything into it. You can kind of see by the way they hold their body stance that what they're saying and how they're saying it. And that's the way I was raised, and that's still my favorite way to talk, is to see you, to meet you, to say hi, and to learn about you right face to face. So I'm glad we're getting back to that, because I miss it, and it's always a little more challenging for the younger people today, you guys who really sail these waters like pros. It's because you were raised with it. I can type like a son of a gun on a typewriter that maybe doesn't have a 1, because I know where to get that 1, because when I was a kid, and from then, I know how to type on a typewriter. You guys use a keyboard. Many of you use a keyboard. And when you went to get a 1, where the heck is the 1? Because it's alien to you. Well, that's alien to me, to have this media. And every day is a little alien to me. But the more I do it, the more comfortable I can feel. And it's great to talk to you guys and bring to you my thoughts and on some of the issues that are happening. Now, I will tell you, you've got plenty of opportunities to learn about government and all that sort of stuff, religion, what's going on with all of that on other channels. But this channel is just kind of what I'm thinking about, and then invite you. I have a question, and I'll ask you, like today, what do you think is going on with Disneyland? And the answer, as Angie says, is she doesn't think it's falling apart. She just thinks there's more phones recording it. And that's a very interesting perspective. Thank you for sharing it, Angie. I appreciate it. Where can we watch Renegade? Just Google it. It's there. It's there. I swear. I think it might be on, where did I find it? I may have found it. I may have found it. No, I may have found it on Amazon Prime, but it might even be on YouTube. But it's called Eye of the Beholder, and I play the parrot. But don't look for a parrot, because the parrot that I play is the white macaw with the comb, the yellow comb, I forget what they call that beautiful bird, which was weird that's the bird that does the hello, because I kind of think of a parrot being more like a classic, green parrot. But or maybe a scarlet macaw or a blue macaw. But no, this is the name is eluding me. But it's called Eye of the Beholder, and it is it's old. It's old. It's on Renegade. And for the longest time, Renegade was a show that but then the pandemic happened and everybody was digging up old shows, weren't they? Shows from the deep, dark past. And and so all of a sudden I knew that people were showing Renegade because my residual checks went up from about 35 cents. And it's really silly when you see a check that is 35 cents when the stamps are twice that much to mail the letter. I've often said to the Screen Actors Guild, wouldn't it be great if you just had a kitty where they could collect it until it's like $2 or something? At least it's then worth sending the check out. But when it's, 6 cents or 7 cents, I think 7 cents was the lowest I got, and I think it was for Renegade. I could be wrong. I should pull one up so you could see it. But they're funny. There used to be a place, it's unfortunately closed, but there used to be a bar out in the valley that was called Residuals. And if you brought a low residual check, they would staple it to the wall and give you a drink, a cocktail. It was really a fun place to be. But I guess once, things got hopping that, or he retired or something, but it's no longer there. It's too bad because it was a great, great place for all of us to get together and show. We were always trying to be the lowest residual. It's kind of like being the losing person in a bowling team. You want to be the losing team, not the winning team. But it's great. But anyway, so that's what I would do. I would Google Renegade. Eye of the Beholder is what it's called, the episode I was in. And I've been in several episodes, but this is not in Renegade. I did the voice of the parrot for one or two. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then as a human, I'm in that Men of a Certain Age, that show. I'm an extra, but oh my gosh, I had so many people see me in it because they sat me right next to the principal actors, which usually they don't do because I pull focus. It's just this unusual look. People look at that more than your actors. And so a lot of times they pull me far away. In fact, I would love to do Yellowstone. There is a question as to whether Yellowstone will continue because of Kevin Costner and the writer having their I won't say little, but their challenges. So all I wanted to do was to write to them and say, you can put me out, so I'm just a silhouette and just have me ride my horse over and over and over again. Like I'm background, just ride my horse all day up in where are they, Montana? It would be so much fun. Just put me on a horse and just let me ride. If the look isn't right, just let me ride. I don't care being back there getting to ride my horse as much as possible. Oscar and I will be attending the event. Hope to see you there at the fan club. Yay. So now you got all kinds of who's are coming to this. I mean, it's like the Academy Awards this year, except for you're not going to see those people there. Those, I guess they tried to get, Tom Cruise to come, but he didn't even know what it was. And they might have tried to get, the people in the Academy Awards, Michelle Yeoh, sorry, not Yao, and all of them, but they just didn't know what we were talking about. So it's the who's in Disney history. A lot of legends, a lot of Imagineers, a lot of Disney people of various level with the Disney company will be there. I don't think Iger will be there, but a lot of the artists are going to be there. So please, if you can go the 6th and 7th, be there or be square. You have a chance to get autographs, to shake their hands, to tell them what you love about them. Don't miss it. I'm not going to miss it. So don't you miss it. Okay. All right. Woo, woo. I say woo, woo. Yeah. I'm so glad you're going, Oscar and June. Can't wait to see you. Yes. From 4 to 6:30, the doors open for seating for the dinner. So 4 to 6 or 6:30, as Bob is saying, is the time when you can rest, get ready to go to the dinner, which will feature Mindy Johnson and Willie Ito. So 4 to 6:30. Thank you. I'm going to write that down, actually. 4 to 6:30. Thank you. And I'm going to put here 1 to 4. talks so I don't forget, and dinner 6:30 dinner. I might be able to swing this. Thank you, Bob Burdine, tribe member Bob Burdine. He's a part of the tribe. Bob and his wife are really good at organizing charity events. So whenever I want to participate in a charity, they're the people I talk to. Very, very generous with their hearts and their hands and their work. And they brought people together for a long time, doing various places, various charity events for the charities that they wanted to assist and help. And they're helping the Disneyland Fan Club with their event this year, donating their time. And they do a great job. So just like I said, the tribe is not just Disney stuff, but it's all kinds of walks of life that come together. And if you're someone who just cannot figure out how to make a living doing what you love, then that's a good time to reach out and be a part of the tribe, because we talk a lot about that too. I share with you how you might do that, especially if you're an artist. Now, if you're not, and what is an artist actually is someone who's passionate about what they do. So I will encourage you to save your quarters each month, and $5 a month. You can be a part of this thing if you'd like to. Love to have you. Your voice needs to be heard. I know you could round it out and make it even more fun if you join. So I hope you do. Turn signals, you have those too? I thought I was the only one with them. Exactly. I started to think that people don't build them in cars anymore. And yesterday on our way to the beach, we saw a guy come from the far on-ramp all the way across all 5-6 lanes into the diamond lane without the signal going. It was really, really a bit scary. So I'm with you. Hello, Audrey. Very unfortunate about the dragon, but I'm glad no one got hurt. I know, right? And I know Gardner is dusting off those molds so that he can get ready to make a new one for them so that they can get it back up and running, because they will, if they have any intelligence at all, which we know they do, that they will call Garner and say, hey, Garner, we need to fix this dragon. But hopefully Garner will take this opportunity. I can't imagine he wouldn't, to say, guys, you got to let us maintain this dragon. Yes, it's very lifelike, but we've got to help it to continue to live. Allow us to check it. Just like the air. I mean, I hate to equate Garner Holt's amazing animatronics with an air conditioner, but I think if you've never built anything animatronics, and you maybe never built an air conditioner, but you know how essential it is to your livelihood, especially if you live in California, you need to have these things maintained. In California, when it started raining, people were shocked that their roofs were leaking or their gutters weren't clear, or heaven forbid the valley, the same street that flooded when I was a kid, still floods. It's like, come on, guys, fix that thing. We had drought. Perfect time to fix a rain gutter. But we just, we kind of let that stuff go. It's kind of natural with a lot of people. So in Disneyland, I'm hoping that Garner takes this opportunity to say, as he fixes the dragon. Because I don't think that dragon is very old, is it? I think we saw the new unveiling with the new dragon. Gosh, when was that? Just before the pandemic? Was it that early, or am I off? You guys know these dates better than I do. But it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. However, time flies, so maybe I'm wrong. Michael Morris, you meet Kermit the Frog. Well, I met Kermit the Frog. I know Kermit the Frog. I actually worked with, because I'm a Muppeteer. So a lot of work with Kermit the Frog. Yeah, a lot of it was fun. Steve Whitmire was Kermit after the passing of Jim, which was devastating for me. That was rough. I was working in-house as an Imagineer when we lost Jim. And pardon me, let's just make sure this is not my father. No, it's not, so I can ignore it. But yeah. So forgive me if you want me to tell you Muppet / Kermit the Frog stories, or country beer stories, or Google my name, Terri Hardin, and be ready for Friday. I'll be ready. You be ready. Okay. And you can ask me all kinds of fun questions. Also, those of you, and this is again Disney, those of you who have the Disney, what is it called? The Disney Rewards card that gives you Disney rewards through Chase Bank. Did you know that you can change your card to a 100 anniversary metallic card? It's really cute. It's got Mickey and Minnie on it, and it's really, really cute. I'm going to do this. Yeah, there you go. There. So you see just the 100. See it? Isn't it cute? It's really cute. So you guys, and it's kind of metal-ish. They said it's metal, but I think it's metal-ish. It feels stronger, but I mean, it doesn't feel like plastic, but it doesn't feel like metal either to me. But you just go to chase.com or disneychase.com/cards or something like that, and you can change the face of your card and get that. I did have a one with Darth Vader on it, and then somebody said they got one with Maleficent on it. But they have some beautiful Disney-esque cards that you can make. It just dazzles your wallet, if you like the Disney credit card. But yeah, so that's my it's just really cute. I wanted it, and I'll keep it for the 100th, and then I'll probably go back to my Vader Visa because I just like saying, "Let me whip out the Vader Visa." So, but I thought you might like to know about that too. And this is what the channel's all about. Terri TV talks about what Terri's thinking, which sometimes can be quite a freeway brain. Yeah. Hi, Terri. How are you? Hi, Mike. I like it when the lady announcer says, now stay tuned for the 6 p.m. news in her country voice. Stay tuned for the 6 p.m. country. How's that? You happy with that there, Mike Pruitt? There you go. Yeah. Coming soon, 6 p.m. Stay tuned for another episode of Ask Me Anything on Terri TV. Yep, there you go. Hey, Joe. Can you imagine Bob Iger picking up trash at Disneyland? I can't. He probably thinks he's too good for that. Do you think so? I don't know. All I know is there's this great photo of Walt picking up his own trash in his park. And I love it. And then Connie, who's going to be speaking on being an ambassador to Walt at the Disney and Fan Club, she said he always did that. And there were times he would sit in the apartment and take notes about how to better the park. The man was just all about making it the ultimate experience for Disneyland guests. So are we surprised? I'm not. So I don't know, Joe. Bob Iger might. I know that he walked the parks and talked to people, which is something I didn't know if a CEO was actually going to do, and he's done it. So maybe. There should be a Team Burbank cleaning challenge where the execs pick up trash in the parks and learn about proper maintenance. Or just be aware of what's happening in your park if you're not. Okay, I remember that when I was doing sculptures for Disneyland, and I did them for a while, that I did a presentation of a sculpture I wanted to do, and they didn't even recognize it, and it was the gargoyle from Haunted Mansion. They didn't know what it was. They said, we don't like the gargoyle. And I was like, I don't care. It's from the Haunted Mansion. Then I was like, no, wait. You guys haven't been on the Haunted Mansion? And so I said, you guys get to go on the Haunted Mansion. Why don't we go now and take a look at it, and then we'll return to this meeting, Because if you don't know, why would you have an artist before you that you're asking to do Haunted Mansion event work, and then you've never ridden the Haunted Mansion? That just does that not make any sense? That not make any sense? It just doesn't. It just doesn't. So that can happen. Yeah, that has happened. Ha ha, says Leslie. I'm about to begin driving from Utah today. I plan to be at the EFC event. Pardon me. I will see you there. It's beautiful here. I'm torn between Utah and California. Well, I got to tell you, this year, with all the rain we've had, California's gorgeous. The areas where the hills were dry and we had no waterfalls, we now have waterfalls, and lakes where there were no lakes, ponds where there were no ponds, because we've had so much water. It's just gorgeous. It's just lush. It's so beautiful. Drove up to Sacramento to see some friends and to eat at a fabulous restaurant by Tribe, from Tribe member Robert Anderson, an amazing sushi place. And the drive was gorgeous, just gorgeous flowers and green grass and waterfalls and wow. Several huge lakes and ponds that shouldn't be there. But we've had some dry spells now, so I'm sure they're dried up or soaked back into the ground. But yeah, very, very amazing. So, Leslie, I can see why you were torn between the two because a lot of the dry areas are very, very pretty right now. I watched the show Dinosaurs on ABC. Well, thank you, Mike. And now you can watch it on Disney Plus. Plus, when I say plus, that comes from Canal Plus, which was part of the team that worked with us when we were building Disneyland Paris. So I always say plus. But it's Disney Plus, and you can see all the dinosaur shows on there. I watched them. I also have them on DVD because I like to be the master of my own shows. So streaming is great, but if they decide to take anything off of streaming, then I'm kind of not able to see it, right? So I like having DVDs because then I can pull it up and watch it. There's a show I love called Dead Like Me, and we're trying to figure out what's happened to the second set of discs. We have season 2, but what happened to season 1? But but I love, these obscure shows that I really, really love that you may or may not be able to stream. They can change at any time. And so once you can't see it anymore and I want to see it, get the chance to see it when I want to see it, at the time I want to see it, when I want to see it. So I have all the episodes of Dinosaurs because, yeah. But thank you for watching them. I was very involved in every season except for the last one, where I was then Brian Henson put me on a little show a movie you might remember called The Flintstones with John Goodman. So I was a puppeteer on that one and this first and second one of that one. Very lovely, a fun experience. So I missed not being on Dinosaurs, but I loved being on that show. So, this is the thing about being in the business. It was fabulous. It was fun. There's also a big problem with influencers doing live video and narration while on the dark rides and using their flashes. It bothers other people who have paid a lot of money for a once in a lifetime experience. Another reason to eliminate annual passes. Well, I am an annual pass fanatic, so I would rather they not eliminate annual passes, Joe. But I see your point. I understand what you're saying. And again, if you're phone centric, people tend to do this. And it's very, very, very annoying. It's like yesterday, it was family day. It was a beautiful beach day. I could have been recording and talking on the phone and showing it to you guys, but I put the phone away. And I was really happy that the phone was away, Excuse me a minute. There we go. Speaking of which, I had to reactivate it because if my dad reaches out to me, I have to make sure he can get me or that his team can get me. But yeah, I'm with you. Part of me wants to film it and part of me wants to I'm with you. I mean, and at a concert, there was my friend who was at a concert. She had to put her phone, put the phone in a bag, and everybody enjoyed the concert like a concert needs to be done, not like this, you know. And so I think it's a great idea. I say zip the phones up and let people have a good time. But then Disneyland is so phone centric. So now you have to have a phone, it seems like. Please tell me if I'm wrong. You have to have a phone that is in your hands so that you can eat, so that you can have a photo pass, so that you can order merchandise, so you can pick up merchandise, so you can it just seems very phone centric, and that's a shame. I think that if they could find a happy medium between the two, that would be great. And maybe it's that way now. You guys will have to let me know. I go in and see my friends there mostly. I ride an occasional ride, but most of the time I'm there to see people and to walk around the park and say hi to people and see things they want to see or do things they want to do. I went for a birthday party. I had lunch and came back because I injured my foot about a month ago. I think I might have injured my foot, tore the toenail off, and it's just been not my friend. So I limp after a while, and so I can't do a lot of walking, which really frustrates me because I love to walk everywhere, and I forget sometimes. So, um, you know, but there you go. Yeah, Joe, I understand what you're saying. I really do. Cockatoo, that's it. Thank you, Joe. I knew you'd come in for me. You always do. Yeah, the cockatoo. So a cockatoo, they do talk. I had a friend who had one for quite some time, and they do talk. It just was weird when they came in and they said, and it's a form of parrot, but it just, my brain of a parrot is different, but it was okay. They wanted this voice, the usual voice. So there you go. Hello, hello. Over there. He's over there. That sort of stuff. That's what I did. And it was fun, like the whole day with a cup of tea, and a microphone. This is the thing about being a voiceover artist. You're usually in a booth. Da-da-da. Nowadays, a lot of times you can do your voiceovers and things right from your home. If you have it insulated enough, and the microphones are so sensitive now, you can sit there and record your voice right there in the comfort of your own home. And send it as a file off to the people all over the world that may need you to do a voice. And that's what I've been doing lately. Yeah. You meet Jim Henson. I don't know if that's you meet Jim Henson's statement or you've met Jim Henson. Yes, knew him very well. He signed my Hallmark ornament of Kermit the Frog, and Frank Oz signed my Hallmark ornament of Miss Piggy. So their Hallmark made an ornament way back of Kermit on skis. So Jim Henson assigned the bottom of that. And I didn't get a picture. When you have someone who works with you like a colleague, you don't really think to get a picture. I mean, I didn't. I'm saying you like me. And then Frank Oz, same thing. Frank Oz I knew very well. In fact, he cast me in Indian in the Cupboard as a key puppeteer. He went and looked at puppeteers and then called me into the Sony studios and gave me a job doing Indian in the Cupboard. They later went to CG with the actual Indian, but I still did a couple of scenes with my puppet. So there's a couple of scenes in there you can see of my work with Indian in the Cupboard. Hi, TERRI HARDIN Jackson. Hello, Mitch. Carla said you would like to be on my podcast. You betcha. Thank you. I will let you know when I have it ready. Yeah, just give me a shout, okay, Mitch, because anything I can do to help, I'd be happy to help you with your podcast. Of course. Yeah. By the way, my name of the podcast is the E-Ticket to Tomorrowland. What a great name. Yes, I look forward. Just message me, or if you have my, message me on Messenger, and you can catch me. It's great. It's great. Joe says you need some Star Wars and Disney ringtones, TERRI. I had Lost in Space for the longest time. But and it's nice. You know what I really need? And you're right, Joe. I need a ringtone that's my dad's. So that when it rings, I don't even need to you know what I mean? Now you guys have those different ringtones for different family members. My husband's going to do that for me, because if I could have one for him and one for my mom and one for my dad, be set. You know what I mean? And then because of the phone being such an issue with me, it's great. Have a safe trip and be safe, my friend. And that is Bob Burdine talking to the lovely Leslie Smith, who is coming down from Utah, just in case you lost that thread. Mitch, great title for your podcast, says Joe. I'll look forward to it. Feel free to join my Facebook group, Classic Disneyland and Classic Disney Movies. That sounds like a fun page. And like the associated page, Classic Disneyland Movies too, you can promote your podcast in the group. How nice! Isn't that nice of Joe? Yeah, go Joe. Joe, he still needs to join the tribe. Yeah, just between you and me. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got a lot to say. Yeah. Joe Christopher Payne, how the heck are you? Makes sense when they completely disconnected from their own yeah. You make a very good point, Joel. Absolutely. And any chance we're going to see you at the Disneyland Fan Club event on the May 6th and 7th? You would be great to have. Oh, okay. This is, again, something for later. I always think it's my dad. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. But I'll let them know. Let's see. Let me look at April. I'm in May. I shouldn't be in May. I should be in April. Yeah, I've got it. I've got it. So just give me a second, guys. Somebody is like, will you please talk to me? Talk to me. I'm not seeing it though. I don't see it here. They asked me to do it, but I don't see it. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Yay. Yes, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Okay, there we go. The people. So Joel, love to see you if you're going to be there. Yep, absolutely, at the Disneyland event. Did you almost say Haunted Manny's, Terry? No, just Haunted Mansion, not Haunted Manny's. Good grief. Oh, I see. Okay, we'll look at that later. All right. Like I said, I'm trying to make sure when you hear the dings, I check because I think it might be my dad or someone associated with my dad or my mom. Because as I mentioned to you, if you're joining me later, I'm taking care of I'm the person that takes care of the stuff for my elderly parents. And you never know when a shot's going to be across the bow. So, so far, I look and it's not that. So forgive me for looking away. Hey, Terry, how are your parents doing? Well, thank you, Mike. That's very nice. My dad's doing well, still at the convalescent hospital, recuperating rehab. Yeah, and my mom is doing pretty good. I should go out and see her hopefully today. I'd like to do that. Mondays are kind of crazy, though, so sometimes I usually wait till Tuesdays to do that. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yeah, my dad's wall, still dealing with that. It came down during the storm, and of course there's the Dodge and Perry with the insurance company and all kind of stuff like that. So we'll see, but they're doing good. I'm the one that sometimes is good and sometimes is bad depending on what I unearth, but thank you for asking, Mike. That's so sweet of you. Can you get Dave Goals on? This is what Michael's asking. Maybe. Dave Goals is very, very busy. I could call him and see if he wants to come on. We'll see, we'll see. I'm not as in touch with all of them as I used to be. A few, but not all. Tell you who I'd like to see is Steve Whitmire. I miss him. Not that I don't want to see you, Dave Goltz. In case you're watching this, I would love to see you too. It's just that I haven't seen Steve in a long time. So when I see Dave, we'll see. Okay. Who is the man in the picture behind you? Here. This is an amazing painting. So we tend to have the habit of meeting artists who are up and coming. And we met this artist when he's up and coming. Now his pictures sell for a lot. A lot. And at the time we bought this, it was $150. But he does all of these character studies of people, mostly Latin figures, because he's Latino. And he likes to follow the fishermen of Mexico and along the coasts of Mexico and South America. So a lot of his work is like this. It's really beautiful. This is a signed copy of one of my favorite movies, Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I've met 2 of the 3 people. I would love to meet Clint Eastwood. So if you have a connection, I'm willing to trade you something for that connection. I want to just have a minute to sit down with Clint Eastwood. And if you're listening, Clint, I'm more than willing to not just me. For lunch, I'll donate to your charity. So let me know. I would love very much to meet Clint Eastwood before he crosses over. He's just such an amazing man, and I've been a fan of his for a long time. So I'd like to meet Clint Eastwood. I got to meet Lee Van Cleef, and I got to meet Tuco. And yeah. So I got to meet Tuco, I got to meet Angel Eyes, and now I'd like to meet Blondie of the good, the bad, and the ugly. That would be nice. I worked Lee Van Cleef, I just got lucky and met years ago, and the other people from Good, the Bad, the Ugly, I worked with on a film. So I was working on a film as an extra. A lot of times I'm signed up with an extras group, but they keep me way in the back because I look so different. So yeah, so it's just but this time they still kept me way in the back, is what I'm saying. But because I'm Screen Actors Guild, I get paid a good wage to be an extra. So I'll take them. I'll do it if they need a body, you know. So I'm in a lot of big crowd scenes, like if I'm in the bleacher somewhere, or in this case, I was at Musso and Frank's playing a patron of the restaurant, but I was way in the back, so you couldn't see that it was me. So yeah. So whoops. Okay, yeah, lots of dinging on here, but not my um I'm just let's see. Yeah. So anyway, so where was I? I was with Lee Van Cleef, Angel Eyes, Eli Wallach, Tuco, and Clint Eastwood. So I've met Eli Wallach. We did a film together. I say that loosely because Eli Wallach was a lead and I was an extra. But we happened to be standing together. I actually, in this movie called Mama's Boy, and you won't be able to identify me because that's usually how I'm playing an extra. But I was the shadow on the back of the bookstore while the scene was being filmed in the bookstore. So you have extras in the bookstore. Then you had Eli Wallach in a movie called Mama's Boy, where he was a lead actor inside the bookstore, and then I was the passing shadow outside the bookstore while they were acting inside the bookstore. That makes sense. That's usually what I do because I'm so recognizable and it's fun. I just walk back and forth. But during Mama's Boy, I was standing, waiting to do my cross, you know, action, background, beep, 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 cross. And Eli Wallach was standing there waiting to go inside to do his scene. And I turned and went, ah, Tuco. And gosh, we had a good day that day. He's super sweet. He was so excited. I said, "Well, you're my favorite actor in that film," which is true. I loved Clint Eastwood in that film, but Eli Wallach really chews it up. And I remember as a young girl just thinking he was just the best. So I told him all about it. And then he was so flattered to just how I gushed. He says, "I got to go act now." So then I don't know if you've ever done extras or been an extra in any kind of a film, but they usually have a holding area where it's picnic tables under a big tent like thing, not with walls or anything. It's just usually open. You can read the paper, grab a bar or something, grab a energy bar or something, get some water or whatever. Craft services depends on where you're working, but it's amazing. It's amazing. He was there, and then he came out of his trailer to sit with all of us and talk to all of us because he came to talk to me. And of course, all the other extras, you know, all the minute you see him, you go, ah, you know, you get all excited that he was so generous with his time. And there was a guy, do you remember the Viking commercial where the Vikings come rushing after you and they go, "What's in your wallet?" Well, the main giant Viking was also on Mama's Boy, and he was playing a homeless character. And he looked up at me. He was sitting on the ground, and I guess he was playing. I don't know if he was reading or what he was doing. It was in between takes, of course. And he looked up at me and he said, "Oh my gosh, I'd really like to meet Eli Wallach." And he turned about 5 years old. He like went to about a 5-year-old. And I said, come on, I'll introduce you. So I brought people over and said, you know, "This man would love to meet you, Eli." This man, like I knew Eli. Like, no, I was just this person that. stood in front of him and his wife and acted out my favorite scene, which happens to be the scene when Tuco meets his brother and they fight. So his brother is a priest and he is a bandit, and they have an altercation. If you have not seen Good, the Bad, the Ugly, you need to see it. It's amazing, and it's really uh, the western that really gave Clint, pardon me, scam likely again, um, gave Clint Eastwood his real start. Blondie came out of that, the famous vest, the famous hat, the famous walk, the stogie, all of that from the Sergio Leone films. And so this one is just one of my favorite. And now I just love watching Clint Eastwood's career and how it went through he did a couple of real dogs, which haven't we all, and then some really good movies. And one of his latest movies that I mean, if you guys haven't seen, trying to think of the one I'm thinking of, but I'll come back to that because my mind is kind of vapor locking on that. But The Mule, which is one he just did not too long ago. There's Cry Macho, which I thought was good too, but The Mule was amazing. And I just love the flexibility of this actor, the sweetness of this of Clint Eastwood. He works with the same team as much as he can. As a director, he makes it as comfortable as he can for actors. So many actors have said he's a great person to work with. So I would love to meet him and have about 20 minutes of his time to just tell him that I am really grateful of the inspiration and how he inspired me as a young actress and a woman who loves to ride horses. I ride horses like a son of a gun. And it's partly Good, the Bad, the Ugly. It was just such a fun, wonderful film, and I watch it over and over and over again to the point where my husband says, "Stop watching Good, the Bad, the Ugly." Godfather, Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Godfather, Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Godfather. Just yes. There I go. Off on a story. That's me. Off on a story. Mitch says, cool, thanks, Joe Penny. My wife and I have had the name for our blog. We have been to D23. We have been to all D23 shows, passed out our cards, but I've finally decided to make it a video podcast. I will join your group for the invite. Thank you for the compliment. There you go. People helping people. That's what we're all about. Terry Hardin Jackson, do you ever go to Walt's Barn? Very often I do. It's just not far from me. But the past few times, Sunday's my family day. So I don't know if you've been on the channel before, Mitch, or your wife may have told you that I pick a day with my husband that I make sure is our family day. And when that happens, the phone goes in a pocket, try to stay as far away from it as possible, except for I've got to keep an eye on my dad and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But now that my husband's retired, we're a little more flexible. So sometimes Sunday's our family day. Sometimes Monday's our family day. We're trying to see if we can talk his mom into making Mother's Day a different day. Since now he's retired, we can take her out on any day and make it our Mother's Day instead of using Mother's Day, the hallmark, if you will, date where it's crowded, it's expensive. We can do it and it's quieter and more just, more open. That's what I like to do. I do that with Valentine's Day, actually. I do the 16th and not the 14th of February. So that way we get the candy after we get all the sale candy. This happens when you get older. You go, celebrate Christmas on the 26th or the 27th, the 25th, and everybody gets a bargain they can get for people. So, yeah. So, this is me. What can I say? But thank you. Yes, Mitch, I do Walt's Barn a lot. I haven't been in a while simply because Sunday's been my family day and been dealing with stuff from my parents. So I'd love to go there again. I always love going there. It's fun to go there. And now Gunny does the flag ceremony. I think he still does the flag ceremony, and that's always a treat. Yeah, that's a really super exciting treat to see him do his thing. Joe says, if the suits in Burbank really want everyone to experience Disney parks on their phones, they should just build virtual park apps for everyone to play, and then they can hear the physical part. Then they can tear down the physical parks, sell the real estate, not actually advocating this, of course. Yeah, because they'll come for you, Joe. No one wants a virtual Disneyland. I mean, they like virtual Disneyland, but not in place of the real Disneyland or any other park. Yeah, I'm hoping, somebody told me I have not yet ridden is it the Avengers? Is that what it's called? Or is it called Spider-Man over in California Adventures? I'm not because it's all virtual or it's all virtual, right? You wear the goggles and you shoot at stuff. I'm not good with that. I'm not good with that. Not because I don't like it, but because I get motion sick. So I'm not really good with that stuff. I really need it to be the actual attraction, like, wee, you know what I mean? And then I'm better with that. So I want it to be the actual ride stuff. And I want it to be the Disneyland because Disneyland creates a different atmosphere than a regular amusement park. I think you would all agree to that. Yeah. So and there's things that are really special about going to Disneyland for me. I love seeing people dressed up, or cleverly dressing up because they can't necessarily cosplay at Disneyland, but they kind of come up with a clever way to be Disney / I'm not really dressed as a Disney character / this is just my outfit / isn't this cool, you know? And I like that stuff. I like it being a gathering. There's a group called the Porch Sitters Club, and I love going to see them and visiting with them because the fans of these parks have different histories in their heads and their hearts of what they go for and why they like to gather. And that's the stuff that I really enjoy. So I hope that Disneyland, gives themselves a good spit and polish and comes back. And I would love for them to figure out a way to bring the prices down. Maybe, I've often said maybe they could go back to the a la carte that they did when I was a kid, where you had the coupon book. Maybe a coupon book is not what you use, but maybe there could be a particular admission where you don't ride the rides. I don't know how that would work, but where you don't ride the rides and you just walk around and enjoy the people and you enjoy the food and you enjoy the shopping and you enjoy the sitting on the bench and whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe all you want to do is see the tiki room, which I love going to the tiki room. There's nothing like getting a Dole Whip and sitting in the tiki room and watching the tiki room show. I love that. That's really fun. I didn't really know you could take a Dole Whip in till just a few weeks ago, I think, or a few months ago. And I just love that. I just love doing that. That's really fun. Maybe you could pick 3 rides. This is good for 3 rides and it's a punch card or something. I don't know. I'm very tactile. So that's why I'm saying things like tickets and punch cards, because that's what I grew up with, okay? I did not grow up with this thing called the smartphone. Sorry. Did not grow up with it. And so, okay, I did fix it. Okay. I mean, so I'm always saying, maybe you guys or Disney would have to make it electronic. But I think it would be fun. The other thing about you guys is if it's a tactile thing, and this is true, don't tell me it's not. If it's a tactile thing, then you all like to collect that stuff. Not only would you get one, but you collect one. For example, the people on Batu who get that metal gift card, they've made necklaces out of it. They've made bracelets out of it. They've done everything with that gift card after redeeming it. So you guys collect it. So how about a little card or ticket thing that you punch it and then you save it? You frame it on the wall and you save it. I don't know. I just think that there would be ways, if you are saying it's just too expensive to bring the prices down for Disney because it takes too much to run the place, then how about tiers? Okay, so you may have heard that I'm doing the Rolly Crump chess set. He passed away a few weeks ago, broke my heart, but I know he's looking down on me and supporting me with all his love and affection, as I am the last collaboration he did before he passed and said that was the last thing he was going to do. Bless his heart. And I'm doing this chess set, this amazing, phenomenal chess set that's based on Rolly Crump's Museum of the Weird. And if you want it and you want the entire chess set, it's going to be quite an investment because the figures are 5 inches tall and the chessboard is about the size of a card table. So not only do you need the real estate to set it up, you need the money to pay for it. So to invest in it. But Rolly, before he crossed over, he was kind enough to tell me I could do two other tiers, which was you buy just a representation of each chess piece, of which there are 6, or you could get the book or the book and that, but several tiers of price points so that people who adore the Museum of the Weird can invest in it. And this is what I'm saying about Disneyland. I think it would be great. Parks around the globe come up with maybe maybe it's Disney after hours, and maybe at 5, maybe from 5 to 9 or 4 to 7 or something, you get to go in and see the park for a little less money. I don't know. This requires some real imagination and thinking, but you are the Imagineers and the think tanks. I think it could be done. It's going to have to be worked out. I get it. It's not going to be magically coming up with something. But if you want to brainstorm, hit me up. I'm here. I'm an Imagineer. I can help. But that's what I think about. That's what I think would be good. Mitch says he will. Good. I agree. Joe Penny should join the tribe. He knows a lot. Yes, he should. Hey, Terry, I don't think I ever told you, but I used to get in trouble in junior high for avoiding PE because I was too busy reading biographies of Walt Disney. Oh, no, that's a great story. That's a really good story. I've had to really relearn English because I used to draw posters in my English class from the 7th grade till graduation. They loved the art so much that I could skip my English class. So that's why sometimes I use words wrong or I can't remember how to use words. Yeah, because I ditched it by doing art. Yeah, don't do that in school, kids. Don't do it. You'll pay for it later, and I have. I'm working on it. Thank goodness for spell check. And I try to spell the word first and then check it rather than just going directly to spell check. Because Jim Rohn, one of the greatest speakers of all time, if not the greatest speaker of all time, said, "What's your excuse? You've been saying that for how long? 50 years? Shouldn't you do something about it?" And I was kind of like, oh, yeah, he's got a point. So I accidentally woke Carla up. She's asking, Terry Hardin Jackson, are you talking about the new Electric Mayhem Band movie? Not currently, but I know that's coming up and I hope it's good. I'm not part of it. Nope. I'm not part of it. And we won't get into that. Wait for Ask Me Anything Friday happening this Friday. Ask Me Anything Friday happening this Friday, April 28th at 9:35. If you want to know more about some of the stuff like that, then you can ask me. And if it's too personal or too intimate, I will say it's too personal and too intimate. We will be at Disneyland on the 10th of May, says Bob Berdine. For Rose's Mother's Day, we celebrate 2 Mother's Day. Culture Mother's Day is always on the 10th of May. That's great. Well, yeah, because this year it's the 14th, right? My husband was looking it up and going, when is it? When is the Hallmark official May Day for Mother's Day? It's the 14th. So the 10th is a great idea because it's Wednesday and you can make it your day. I usually do kind of a similar thing, Bob, with my family, because then we can go wherever we want, not a lot of crowds, and it's nice. The only time that it's really important that it is the day is if your girlfriend or mom or somebody works in an office or is in a public, they hang because they need, everybody else is getting flowers and cards, and there they are going, because they're not getting one. Then you need to do it on the day, or at least acknowledge it with a bouquet of flowers or something, okay? Because you don't want them to feel like, everybody's getting the flowers or the Valentines or whatever it is. If they're in their office, do yourself a favor, everyone out there, and make sure you send that if they're working at a place, right? Does anyone remember they used to have shopping passes at Disneyland? That's kind of where I got the idea. Bob Berdine, when I was Imagineer in-house, and I'm not an Imagineer in-house anymore, I'm the come here, get away Imagineer. When I was in-house under the Disney roof as a full-time Imagineer, I used to use my Silver Pass to just shop. I had never experienced Disneyland on this level before. And then suddenly I had a Silver Pass and I could go anytime. And I just learned that there were times that Disneyland was really extra special. And those shopping passes were one of those. And I think they still have shopping passes for cast members, but I don't think they have them for anybody else. And they are really, really cool. They are seriously, seriously cool. So I would love for them to bring those back. I love the tiki room, says Mitch. Love you stole my thunder. The storm is cool. That storm is cool. Yes, your thunder. You stole my thunder. My thunder. You stole my thunder. Yes, I love the tiki room. I mean, I'll go and just go to the tiki room. I'll go and just go to Mr. Toad's if it's not too crowded. Mr. Toad's is one of my favorite because I love going to hell and live to telling about it. As a little kid, I loved it. I used to go, I went to hell. My grandmother would get really angry. Don't say that word. But it was true. Okay, I went to Hades and came back. A rose by any other name. But I loved it, and I still do to this day. I'm really happy that Disneyland kept Mr. Toad's. It's one of my favorite. Absolutely adore it. Really, really love it. And the Jungle Cruise, which I used to ride. There was a time in the old days, there was a time when you could just sit on the Jungle Cruise and ride it over and over and over again. And I used to sketch, and the cast member told me about Blaine Gibson, and that's started my journey along the path of becoming an Imagineer. So you never know what catalyst is going to ignite you, but this is the cool and exciting thing about it. So gotcha. And what a way to end. About 2 hours today, guys, but I know I've been cutting you short on a couple of them, so I had the time today to give it to you. Please know that this Friday is Ask Me Anything Friday. Get your questions ready, and we will have a lovely conversation that day. Thank you for joining me. I love you. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. So if you're sad or if you're depressed, make a phone call to someone you haven't talked to in a while. See a friend you haven't seen in a while. If you've got the means, buy the coffee of the person behind you in line. You never know what's going to light somebody up. And that is infectious. Doing something nice for someone else is infectious, and it's hard to stay down and upset when you are in the light of someone else's joy. So go find some joy. Go find some fun. Have a lovely weekend. Have a great week, says Joe. Mwah! You guys are awesome. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'll talk to you Friday on Ask Me Anything Friday. See you, and bye for now.